This week's lecture is based on the types of maps and mapping. So, in this mapping, it is showing the spread of West Nile virus. We are looking at two data sets here. The first one is based on approximate distance from the Mississippi River using a grayscale palette. So with the grayscale palette, we could see darker gray the closer the distance to the river compared to white in the shade scale. This means that it is farther from the Mississippi River. The other data set that we see here is height is based on number of confirmed human cases. So we could see that the virus, we're looking at the height of the states. So if the state is higher, that means there is a higher number of confirmed cases of the Nile virus. So what is a map? A map is a graphic model of the spatial aspects of reality, whereas the difference between map and cartography is that for cartography, this is the art, science, and technology of making maps together with their study as scientific documents and works of art. So we learned from the previous lecture, GIS is a geographic information system or science, and for GIS, we are organizing, acquiring, and analyzing spatial data. So mainly GIS, we're analyzing spatial data, and our end product is a map. So with our final map product, we can start using our cartographic skills to improve our maps, to make them look nicer. So there's a common misconception with GIS students where they think that they're just, making a map based on where things are located, but that is a misconception. GIS, like we will learn in this class, is largely based on data analysis, whereas and our final end goal is a map, and that's when we could apply cartographic skills. So there are different types of maps, and I first want to go over cognitive mental maps, then cartographic maps, and then historical maps. So for cognitive maps, a lot of qualitative researchers use cognitive maps for their community-based research, and they tend to ask the communities to draw a map based on their perception of the place that they live at, to see what they perceive as their land versus what they perceive of the land that doesn't belong to them. Here, this is an example of a cognitive map from a college student, and we can see here that the college student has a different perception of their space compared to this college student. So for this college campus map, they are zoomed in on the college campus, telling us the science building. But also we could see that the student's house is close by to the campus. Whereas in this student's perception of their college campus, they are zoomed out. They put the airport and other locations, the freeway. So we could see based on this type of cognitive map that the student may be a commuter. So again, different people have different perceptions of space. Now I want to talk about thematic maps. Thematic maps display spatial patterns of a theme or series of geographic attributes. There are two important elements for thematic maps. The first one is a geographic or base map, and the second is thematic overlay. So we could see here in this example that the blue is the geographic base map. So our geographic base map is the United States, whereas the different size circles is the thematic overlay. So the circles are overlaid on top of the United States. So this is an example of a thematic map. Again, these are more examples of thematic maps. So here, this is the base map is of the world, and the theme here is the participating nations 2014 Winter Olympics. Whereas here, the base map is Thailand, and our theme is showing poverty rates in the red shaded scale, and it's also showing national parks or protected areas as a green polygon. So we could see a pattern here that there's higher poverty rates close to national parks or protected areas compared to those that are not next to national parks or protected areas. So there is a difference between qualitative and quantitative thematic maps. For qualitative maps, this has information on the map that tells you only where different things exist, such as lakes, rivers, roads, cities, farms, etc. Whereas quantitative maps has information that tells you the magnitude of different things. So how large, how wide, how fast, how high, etc. So for qualitative thematic maps, they are shown as point features. So for point features, we could see different types of shapes of the points. So here we have spring, house, or mine. And then for orientation, we have either a live tree or a dead tree. And for color hue, we can use colors to show us the difference between a live tree and a dead tree. So green for a living tree and brown for a dead tree. Here is an example of a qualitative thematic map showing us the locations of bears, lynx, and owls. And we can see that they're showing us the point feature of that type of animal. Here is another qualitative thematic map based on the different facilities at a lakeside recreation area. So this is showing us the location of the campground, the picnic area, the boat ramp. So this is a qualitative thematic map. And then here, this is another qualitative thematic map based on Central New Orleans. And this is the returnee assistance map. It shows us the aid distribution center, the medical center, and other locations for this area. Also, we could see line features in qualitative thematic maps. So we could have different shapes of the lines to show us national border versus trail versus section line. Also, we could see that we have orientation, so showing the difference between the road types, and color hue, showing the difference between a national border and a state border, depending on the color. So this is a qualitative thematic map based on line features. So this is the diffusion of the HIV-1 virus, and we can see how it distributed. This is a subway map, and we're seeing the line features as color-coded, showing us the different types of subway lines to take. The next type of map we see is the city of Roseville, California. So our base map is the city of Roseville, and our line features are based on the truck routes. So we could see the existing truck route is blue and the existing STAA truck route is green. Another type of feature we could see with qualitative thematic maps is area. So another term for this is polygon. So we look at polygon shapes to show us the area. We have here for shape, whether it's gravel or sand. And then for orientation, the difference between an orchard and a field crop. And we also have color hue. So land is represented as green and water is represented as blue. So here we could see this is the Hennepin County land use map. Again, our base map is Hennepin County, and we are using polygon features that are color coded to show us the different types of land use. So for example, light pink is single family residential, whereas purple is showing us where the airports are located. So I see the airport right here. This is showing us the presidential election of 2004 of polygon features. So the difference between the presidential votes for Bush and Kerry.